Okay, so quick video about who I am, what I do, and kind of all those things real quick. My name is Susan Joseph. I run the Hotel for Homeless Dogs in Cumberland, Rhode Island. It is a nonprofit animal care facility where we rescue dogs from southern states. We actually rescue right now primarily from Tupelo, Mississippi, Aiken, South Carolina, Macon-Bibb County, Georgia, and Arkansas. Van Buren, Arkansas. So those are our primary shelters right now. But we do mix and mingle in with other shelters when they are in need. If we have any open space, we try to fill it. We run at pretty much full capacity. We have an active team of 500 volunteers that come and walk our dogs twice daily. We placed about 750 dogs last year, 750 animals. We do kittens as needed, but primarily we focus on dogs. And we basically are contacted by the shelters of who they have in need. They get vetted, we transport them up, and we place them out in homes here in New England. Once the shelter that I run now was up and established, and we were about 5 years in, I decided that it was time to take what we were doing here in Rhode Island and try to facilitate it in other shelters throughout our country. Because essentially what we've created here at the Hotel for Homeless Dogs is a model and a blueprint that can be reproduced at other shelters. Our culture is very different. That's what I pride myself on, but I believe that culture is something that can be taught. But essentially when I went down to Aiken, South Carolina to visit their shelter, I learned a ton. And then I went to Macon-Bibb County. And when I went to Macon-Bibb, I have another video kind of explaining that the issue that they're having there. But essentially their animal control, which is very large, they have about 80 runs, is always running at max capacity. They have a huge animal welfare crisis in Macon-Bibb County. And that's my dog, who's kind of a menace. I had no idea how bad it was. When I went down there, I was actually supposed to go visit another shelter, and they were like, no, we really want you to stay here. We have a full day planned. I was like, okay. They said, we want you to go out with our animal enforcement division. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine. It was my daughter who runs the facility and I, Savannah. They separated us, which was interesting because I think we realized we were kind of each other's security blanket, and we went out with animal enforcement for the day. And I can tell you that going out on the road with animal enforcement changed the landscape of who I am. I've been in this industry since 2007. I consider myself fairly educated. I pull from some of the toughest counties in our country, and I've been doing this a long, long time. What I saw in Macon-Bibb County, rattled me to my core. It rattled me to the point where I left there, I believe with 100% of who I am, that God sent me there for a reason. And now I have to try to figure out what I can do to help the animals in Macon-Bibb. So I went down there, met with animal control. They have a 28-day hard line where dogs are euthanized at the 28th day. Whether they're healthy, whether they're sound, whether they're amazing, it doesn't matter. There is a 28-day hard line in place where they euthanize these dogs at 28 days. Animal enforcement has tons and tons of hard cruelty cases pending in their database where they cannot go out to these calls because there is nowhere for them to put the dogs because animal control is always full. So this broken system is where we have a facility that is always full with dogs that are sometimes not given the proper time to get out, an animal enforcement team that is amazing, that wants to go out and enforce the laws in Macon-Bibb, which for the record, Macon-Bibb has stricter laws than the state of Rhode Island. So just to give you an idea, the laws are in place. Animal enforcement cannot go out and enforce the laws because there's nowhere for them to put these dogs. So I met with animal enforcement. I spent a lot of time with them. I met with animal control. I spent a lot of time with them. Both teams were amazing. They were transparent. They answered my questions even when they were really hard and they knew that the answer was going to be difficult. And I'm really, really grateful for everyone that was down there. I then, I cried for a while. It was difficult. I mean, we were picking up dead dogs off the road that were just left there to die, that people would just drive by. A mother who had been left in an abandoned house outside. She had puppies. And then the chain she was tethered on got stuck. So she had to stand there for days while her puppies died because she couldn't get to them. Those are just a couple of the cases that we saw that day. I can tell you that everything in me shifted that day. I knew that the need was high. I didn't know that it was that high. Prayed on it for a couple of days, cried on it for a couple of days. thought about it for a couple of days, because our goal up here, our next step up here, was to open a sanctuary. We really want to open a wildlife clinic. We want to start to be able to rescue livestock. We want to open affordable vet care, and we want to have an education center. So we kind of already had our plan up here. But I really feel like the community of Macon Bib and the animals there, that they need help. So just to give you an update on that, I then emailed the mayor's office, the chief, everyone involved with Macon Bib, because it is run by like the sheriff's department, and forgive me if I misspoke on some titles, but essentially I went to a few leaders in town. Then I went to the mayor's office, and I went to everyone involved in the animal control department at the sheriff's office. I sent an email, very detailed, with a proposal for a private-public partnership. I explained it all about bullet by bullet, what I thought needed to get done, what could get done, what we were proposing and what we could do. Another huge issue down there is heartworm positive dogs. They're euthanized just because they're heartworm positive, because in the state of Rhode Island, I can't take them. I cannot import in heartworm positive dogs. So these amazing dogs are getting euthanized just because they're heartworm positive. So we are really fighting hard to try to get into Macon Bib, but that's kind of an update as to where we are right now. I have not heard back from the town. They have told me that I will hear from them this Friday, which is going to be the 16th or 17th. And I'm hopeful and confident that I will hear from the town, and the county, and that they will want to make changes. So that's kind of where we are with Macon Bib. So right now we're staying hopeful that we hear from them within the week, and we can start making changes and moving things forward in that county.